News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
A lot has been going on in Jerry Falwell Jr.'s world lately, and it seems to be coming to a bit of a head. So the business partner, and again, it's all coming to a head now, but I can't establish what the business was exactly just yet. But a business partner of Jerry Falwell Jr. has come forward to say he had a years-long sexual relationship involving Falwell's wife and the evangelical leader. This is according to Reuters, who kind of got the exclusive on this. So Falwell, his name is Giancarlo Granda. He says he was 20 years old. He met Jerry and Becky Falwell while working as a pool attendant at the Fontainebleau Miami Beach Hotel in 2012. Starting that month and continuing into 2018, Granda told Reuters that the relationship involved him having sex with Becky while Jerry watched in the corner, and that this happened in multiple cities and possibly at their house as well. His friendship with the Falwells eventually soured, according to Grande, and in part because he wanted to dissolve his business ties with the couple, and then they fell into some sort of business dispute. Now Falwell Jr. says that his wife had the affair on her own with a family friend. It spiraled him into a depression where he was so depressed he lost 80 pounds. But Reuters released audio given to them by Granda. Audio, I'll play it for you in a second, where it sounds like Falwell is complicit in his wife's relationship. You'll hear the three of them in the clip. And just to sort of be clear, at first, you will hear Falwell telling Granda not to make Becky jealous anymore. Falwell has resigned from the university, Liberty University. But here's the clip that Reuters got. Here's about a minute of it.
John's been very busy lately.
Yeah.
So. His new thing is like telling me every time he hooks up with people, like I don't have feelings or something.
You're gonna make us jealous.
Yeah.
Not trying to do that.
Like a week ago, I was in tears for a whole freaking day.
Come on.
He's like, I hooked up with this girl at dinner, and then I got her an Uber, and I'm like, just completely depressed.
Come on. You don't care.
Maybe
about
the more you tell me, the more I'll get used to.
You don't care about me anymore, Becky.
Huh?
You don't care about me anymore.
Yeah, really? Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
But
that's why.
I just tell you because you're my best friend, right? So.
I know. I'm trying to be okay and like accepting my position, but I'm kind of into. So yeah.
Is he on the husband's on the phone?
Yeah, and
he's having this conversation.
Sounds like he being Giancarlo, is having a conference call with both of them on the phone.
Yeah, and because Giancarlo, John, they call him, is the one who comes in crystal clear. Sounds like a bit of a setup, from his end.
Trying to think of how many three-way conversations I've had with Lynette and some dude. There's a good chance if I was doing that, I'd be like watching Sports Center with the sound down, and then he'd go like, I'm balls deep in your wife. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, Jesus. He's wide open. That's a 12-footer. Huh?
Excuse me?
Yeah, what's that?
Well, thank you. It's not quite that large. But...
Yeah. Anyway.
Flatter me.
All right. Well, here, hold on a second. What were you saying? I gotta...
I'm really jealous. I'm not handling it well. I don't like that you tell me about being with other women. I just want you to be with me. Jerry's fine with it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Rams are at home. They're giving away 2.5.
No, I miss being rammed too. That's basically the point of this call. That's what you're saying,
Christ. Right? This guy's got $50 million a year. He can't hit a fucking 12-foot bank shot. It's insane.
Don't bring Christ into this.
I normally don't mind when you're watching us, but can you keep it down just a little?
Yeah. So what? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Look, you guys are awesome. Oh, Jesus Christ! I have to put the pine tar on the helmet.
I'll do it next time without the pine tar.
I can't get it from the dugout. I gotta put it on the helmet.
I think it's nicer than a dugout.
You're my best friend. You're my best friend.
Jesus Christ, the thing wasn't even near the strike zone. All right. Well, whatever you guys want, that's awesome. I think we're kind of come back from commercial here, so I just want to say God bless you. And
keep up the good work.
Jesus Christ, it's I don't know. I don't care about the guy's politics. LeBron can play ball. He can. I don't know. What is he? 50? The guy can still scoot. He can scoot. Okay, so you guys, we'll see you this weekend or something?
Oh, you'll be there?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought you were breaking up with us.
No.
Oh.
No, not at all. Jesus Christ,
good.
it fucking guy just puts in 19 years with the Patriots, and they just go and shuffle him off to Tampa.
I've never said this in
crazy.
the 9 years I've been plowing your wife, but this is distracting.
Yeah, okay. Well, good then. That's all good. All right.
Okay.
Fantastic. We'll see you guys soon then. Come on by.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
See you tonight.
So long.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Fountain Blue. Okay.
And see.
So thank you. So I don't know if you saw, and I didn't ask for it, but maybe they can grab it. The picture that's how Jerry Falwell came sort of back into the situation. First of all, there was a lot of controversy around him keeping the school open during COVID when everybody else was closing.
Oh, yeah.
And then that odd picture came out that's just bizarre with him on a yacht with his pants undone next to a young girl with a wig with her pants undone and her shirt pulled
she
up.
wearing a wig?
Yeah.
saw that
My God.
picture. I was
Looked like Peg Bundy.
I
And
couldn't. I
grab
don't
that
know
picture,
about
Chris or Kaylin.
Religious folk have big hair. I'm not here to judge. I mean,
True.
but they have
Higher the hair, the
massive,
closer to God.
Yes, they have. Traditionally, religious people have massive heads of hair.
But that was not a color found in nature. That was Peg Bundy hair. I'm pretty sure it was a wig.
Yeah.
We'll look at it. But and then they never explained who these people were or who she was. And then I think they said on John and Ken, maybe somebody said that was his wife's assistant. There it is. Just bizarre. And it was never explained. Like he's like, oh, we're having a great time on the yacht. Don't mind that drink in my hand. It's just a prop. And that was it. There was no explanation of what the hell was going on in this picture. To me, it looks like he's wearing her pants or he's trying on a girl's pants or something, but I can't tell.
I gotta kind of assume you're making a joke because you're posing for the camera. Why would you pose?
Odd. Well, he took it down quickly, and he was going back and forth on whether or not he was going to resign, and now I think he has resigned from the university.
Well, don't get preachy, people, because we all have our foibles. And the wife who had the affair is one thing, and that would garner some sympathy, I think, from maybe society. But the wife who had the affair while you were in the room beating off, now we got a whole different kettle of fish. Completely different kettle. New kettle.
New kettle.
No
kettle.
No kettle. New kettle. What else we got, Gina Grad?
Well, I don't know if this is going to be the first Ellen Domino or the only Ellen Domino, but the Ellen DeGeneres show has been pulled from the air in Australia. The show's usual 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. slot on the Channel 9 network has been replaced with reruns of Desperate Housewives. No word yet if Ellen will be canceled in the U.S., but the rumor has it that James Corden has been eyeballed to replace her. According to the Sun News, quote, James Corden was being eyed for Ellen's job in the long term before any of this came to light. And this comes, of course, on the heels of Ellen saying she'll be talking to her fans about the toxic workplace allegations and possibly her rumored meanness.
What? No way. Now, so here's the thing. Rumored meanness is fine. Rumored meanness when you're dancing and telling everyone to be great humans and love each other, that's our problem. I'm going right back to Lance Bass. You being gay is fine. You telling people you're not gay while you're being gay, that gets humans. Humans
draws eyes.
Humans. You know what I always talk about when I sort of have my theories. Like, so it's like when. Famously, when Matt came walking in here 10 years ago wearing tennis shoes that I did not approve of, and they caught my eye.
I remember that.
And they're like, tennis shoes made by Wilson or something. It's like Wilson makes tennis rackets. They don't make tennis shoes. And I kept looking at him, and I kept saying, what's going on with the shoes? And he was like, no, nothing. And they asked him a couple times, and then I said, where'd you get the shoes? And he went, they're my dad's. And I went, good. Because I could picture your dad wearing Wilson tennis shoes. So
we could move on with our day now.
It wasn't the shoes themselves that bugged me. It was sort of the application and what they were doing here and why they were here. And I needed answers. And the thing about Ellen is I've done Ellen's show a couple of times. And when I did it, I knew that her staff was scared to death of her by the way they treated me. And I always knew when you have a scared group, that means it's coming from the top. You know, that there's a reason why Leno's staff acts completely different than Ellen's staff does. Leno's much more laid back, but Leno doesn't do anything to try to convince you he's a nice guy. He's just Leno, you know. And so it bugged me. And so if Ellen would just go, look, I'm a comedian, I'm an asshole, and so is Bill Maher. So fine. It's not a popularity contest. We're here to be funny. Then I think everyone would almost immediately buy into that. That when she's getting crucified is because she went from this person to that. She said she was this, and it turns out she's that. And she tried to fool us through overcompensation the same way Bill Cosby did. Look at his dancing. Look at his sweaters. Like, I mean, look at that guy. Who could try harder to convince you he was this guy versus that guy? And you know, versus Seinfeld, who was just that guy and that guy. It's just the same guy
Yes.
by all accounts. So
Does it have something to do with that time slot? Is it something that nobody thinks that Midwestern housewives are going to accept you if you're not dancing or being part of the Cootie Patootie Chub Club? Because that seems like a daytime thing.
It's better to be likable during the day and probably funny by night, you know, because she's sort of a hostess on a cruise ship versus a late night comedian or a nightclub comedian. Yes, Brian.
To that point, almost lost in Gina's story is that James Corden's being considered for the job potentially. That would be a great move for James Corden because his act would work well in the daytime, whereas maybe it doesn't work as well at night.
Yes, and I think people think he's affable and possibly gay, but he's not.
He's neither.
He's neither, but good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that routine works. You know,
yeah.
He's very likable.
Very likable, and that would work. And by the way, every human being who's watching your show and in the audience during the day is struggling with their weight. And you get to explain that you had a brownie the night before and now you feel naughty, and everyone's going to go nuts because everyone's home. Everyone's struggling.
Sorry, wasn't it Bill Maher that he kind of clapped back at, so to speak, didn't Bill Maher say something? I can't remember who it was.
It was about fat shaming, and
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill Maher said it was okay to shame people, and James Corden went on a whole thing about how that wasn't right.
Perfect for daytime TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, here's the bigger question, and you guys tell me. Ellen is a multimillionaire. I mean, Ellen's got syndicated money, man. I mean, she's got buku bucks as well as probably lots of properties that she paid $9 million for that are worth $26 million today. Like, she has a lot of properties, flipped a lot of properties, didn't have, no divorces or cocaine problems. And she's been making that the buku bucks are the Judge Judy syndicated daytime bucks. She's been making mega bucks for a long time. She has to be worth a lot. She's, 63 or I don't know what she is, 60. Does she really need to go out and explain to everybody like who she is and why she is and hang up her Capizios? You're welcome, Gina.
That was really good.
Or can she just go suck my clit and go fucking spend her money in Santa Barbara and go, fuck it. I'm growing my hair out. I'm not dancing anymore.
And that would be a win-win. Because then we could all say, all the I told you so people could say, I told you so. She's not nice. And then she could get on with her life.
She's got a acreage in Montecito. She'd be happy the rest of her life. She never has to fucking work again. Just go flip houses and do architecture shit and go to work on a stand-up special in a book or whatever. But I mean, you really need to get back on that, start literally tap dancing for the man again. Like, are you going to go out, do this sort of mea culpa thing, see if you can squeeze another 4 years out of this, or you just go, I got enough money for 10 small African nations. Like, fuck it. Yeah.
It might be more than that. You guys want to guess what her celebrity net worth is?
God.
More than Weird Al? Somewhere between me and Weird Al?
More than you and Weird Al combined.
Oh, my God.
By several factors.
Syndicated daytime money is quietly where the buku bucks are. That show's been going on for 14 years or something. I don't know. She's done well in real estate. Again, not a bunch of divorces and addiction and, that kind of sued and, that kind of stuff. I'm going to say $245 million.
I was going to say 300 million, but I don't have any basis of how much she could possibly be worth.
According to Forbes, which is fairly reliable, a net worth of $330 million.
Now, she's someone who could give $1 million to every person in the nation.
She reportedly makes 84. That's true.
She'd be in deep debt, but yeah,
Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. She reportedly makes $84 million a year.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's before she goes nuts at the diamond store. You know, Ellen.
Her and her brooches.
Yep, that's right. Can't get them over.
All right. So, one argument is as well, if I get another year out of this, I get another $84 million. But on the other hand, she's over $300 million. She's 62. And enjoy yourself.
And Portia's no slouch.
Oh, yeah. And then also,
she makes her own money.
How much of that is a sort of competitive, just not wanting to drop off the radar? You know what I mean? Wanting to.
Not about money anymore.
Because she could spend $10 million a year for the rest of her life, and that would probably take her to the end.
Oh, I'd say she'd make it. Yeah. We got a picture of Matt Fondelier's Wilson shoes.
Triggering.
Now, maybe he is kind of a flip-flop guy, so maybe that was part of it. It didn't seem like a young man's shoe purchase to me.
Yeah, all white, too.
All white.
They're classic dad shoes.
They're classic dad shoes, but it's showing up in dad shoes. Now, I guess when you get drunk in a hot tub enough with your dad, at some point you're going to step into the wrong shoes, right? Because you get out of that hot tub, you've had 11 gin fizzes, and you step out, your head's a little light, the pavement's hot, and you'll step into the wrong dogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably what happened with Matt, and then he just wore him to the shoes.
It's a logical explanation.
I'm saying if I jacuzzied as much with my dad, and I'm probably 50% as much as Matt, maybe less.
You should hope to be 50%.
Maybe ever. I don't even think I've seen a jacuzzi while my dad was standing next to me. But if I jacuzzied as vigorously and as often as Matt does with his parents, then I would be bound to step into the wrong shoes at some point when we got out of the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened. But either way. All right. Dad shoes, though, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, don't give me the high hat and try to send me the wrong direction, people, when I go, what's up with the fill in the blank? Don't keep walking and go, nothing. I will stay after you. I had to stay after him about those shoes. I needed the full story.
Get to the bottom of that. So it happened again. Another team has broken the Cannonball Run record, driving from New York City to LA in under 26 hours.
By the way, I want everyone to know, I will accept what's up with those shoes. I was at the Big Five. They had the bin, and they were marked 110% off, which is,
They'll pay me.
I got $11 for taking these shoes home.
Adam,
yes.
You are 3 for 3 for calling out shoes. You've called me out for my shoes, and I told you it's because Nate at the other shop gave me a pair of shoes, his old pair of shoes, and I started wearing them.
They didn't seem like your shoes.
Right. And then you've called out Mike August for wearing a weird pair of shoes, which...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I forget what he was
His
doing.
brother-in-law's.
He was wearing his brother-in-law's shoes, not because he liked the shoes, but because he didn't want to put mileage on his shoes.
Wear and tear.
Like it was a custom van and he was going to Yosemite. He didn't want to put the mileage on his shoes. A thought that no human has ever possessed. Mike had that thought. Sorry, but yeah, I'm 3 for 3 in the what's up with the shoes department. Don't come in here with your weird shoes that don't fit your pattern and expect me to remain silent. I shall not. Sorry. What were we talking about?
So the Cannonball Run, new record, averaging about 112 miles per hour along the way. Arnie Toman and Doug Tabbitt had a little twist on the adventure, which may be considered an unfair advantage, but they did it, and it was pretty cool. The drive across the country was in a car that resembled a cop car. Not black and white, but had various features that resembled a cop car. It's the third time the Cannonball Run record has been broken in 2020, as teams have been taking advantage of these empty roads. Here's a clip of Arnie showing how they modified an Audi S6 to more of a cop car feel. Now, before the clip, they talk about how they redid the grille, and then here's some of the other things they did.
One of the most difficult things to make this look like a police car was what to do with the wheels. So what we decided to do was go with 19-inch OZ wheels in black, and then we actually plastic dipped the centers to make it look like a dog dish hubcap. In the back, we took reflective vinyl and kind of covered over the edges to reshape the taillights more like a Taurus. Added the reflective chevrons and a fake unit number. So when this car goes past people, they just automatically will assume it's a police car. Top that off with a couple antennas, and you've confused probably about 75% of the people out there.
Well, with all the sort of homeland security kind of stuff, like there's probably a bunch of agencies now that are like not cops, but not firemen and not an ambulance. But now, don't you guys see more of these? Like, oh, that guy's probably a Secret Service guy or something.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that. And I see all the time, especially in LA when I used to drive, private security. You know what I mean? Like it looked like a police car says security or whatever systems or whatever.
For like a gated community.
If you're coming up behind that car and you can't tell, always, at least in California, look for the registration tag. Official cop cars and city vehicles, federal vehicles, no registration tags.
Right. So these guys were kind of doing an interesting thing, which is, they weren't trying to simulate a cop car. They were trying to simulate an official car, which could have been more important than a cop car. Like these guys had feds in there, or FBI agents, or whatever that sort of half unmarked, marked, kind of sort of marked car. So smart. Because the way people work is there's just little flashes and little things, and that's good.
Especially when something's flying by you.
It's definitely good for truckers who aren't going to drop a dime on you by like hopping on their CB and talking to cops and saying this guy's going 140 miles an hour. I don't know what it does for the municipal cop who maybe it works in a Los Angeles type area, but in rural Kentucky, I don't know. Don't those guys know who's on their beat? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why he said, this is enough to confuse 70% of the people, but I would imagine cops are in that 30%.
I'm sure it's for people just getting out of the way, right? They have their whatever monitors tell where the cops are.
What'd they do? So what'd they do it in?
Under 26 hours. And they averaged about 112 miles an hour.
Yeah. Average 112. Yeah, that's hauling ass. They must do it. God, they must pick the best day and the best time. They have to leave it. They have to figure it out Saturday night at 2 a.m. or some version of that, right?
9 a.m. Monday morning.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of rush hour.
I don't know. I feel like all these guys, back in the day, they just have like a Grand Torino like souped up and they just go at it. Now it's like a lot of electronics and kind of computers and ways and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's good, but it's a little, it's a little bit of the boob job era.
I'm glad you mentioned Waze.
Steroids era, yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Waze because Christy and I drove to and from Sedona a couple of weeks ago. Long drive, 6 hours one way, 8 hours the other, and we had the radar detector mounted on the window or whatever, and the most reliable was Waze. Waze would tell you where all the cops were, or the cops were hiding. Every time popped up on the screen, there sure enough was a cop.
Because you can trust a pissed off driver entering that information. This all crowdsourced.
Right. I realize as far as wiring goes, for me, the thing that's most appreciated about Waze is not the fastest route, it's the alleviation of the anxiety of when are we going to arrive. When are we going to arrive at the airport? When are we going to arrive at the venue? Like, when are we going to arrive? I realize it's not being stuck in traffic, and it's not taking an hour and 10 minutes to get to the airport. It's being stuck in traffic and going, we're never going to get to the airport.
Yeah. It's not knowing.
If you show me a phone and it says you're going to be there in 31 minutes, then I just go, fine, we'll be there in 31 minutes. We could be stopped in the middle of the street. It wouldn't matter.
Takes it into account.
Right. Yeah. And so as long as I know that, I just realize it's that kind of, it gets rid of the anxiety. It's not really the speed part. It's just you will be there then and your flight leaves. At this point,
it's like the like you're holding your breath theory. If you know you're holding it for 30 seconds, no problem. If someone just says, "I'll let you know when you're done holding your breath," then you're going to have a panic attack.
Yeah, you can stay underwater for a minute, or someone can put their hand on the back of your head and hold you under the water for 10 seconds, and it's going to feel a lot more panicky. Yes, that's what I was thinking, Gina. Good job. What else we got, Gina?
Well, a Detroit woman was pronounced dead the other day, but then she was found breathing just in time. 20-year-old Tamisha Beauchamp was found unresponsive and not breathing in her home. Paramedics attempted CPR but were unable to revive her. An emergency room doctor ultimately declared her dead. The woman's family was contacted. Her body was transported to a funeral home. Just as she was about to be embalmed, staffers made the shocking discovery that she was alive and still breathing. They called the EMS who transported her to the hospital. Her condition is unknown. The family's lawyers says they were about to embalm her, which is most frightening. And had she not opened her eyes, we don't know what would have happened. Well, they do. The funeral home unzipping the body bag, literally, that's what happened to Tamisha, and seeing her alive with her eyes open is surprising. So don't know. 20 years old, condition unknown now, but alive.
How can you do that? How can you go from the paramedics and you get the physician who basically calls the time, right?
Yeah, and everyone said we followed protocol. I mean, we did what we do, every single one of them.
Is this a downer situation, like where her heart dropped to so low, or she fell in a river or something?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a chemical thing, an OD. I don't know if it was a freak accident. We don't know. But she was about to be embalmed. And my question is, do you ever sleep again if you're Tamisha, or do you go to sleep every night with absolute terror in your heart? Thinking that someone's dreaming that someone thinks you're dead and is hauling you away again.
The real victims are the people who worked at the funeral home, because you unzip that and you see those eyes staring at you with those pupils moving around.
Yeah,
like that's
talk about never sleeping again.
That's a nightmare.
That's messed up. And
she was probably, I don't know, kind of comatose, but still alive or whatever. That'd be, I hope, I know she either cures cancer or becomes a serial killer. Because this is how these things work. She doesn't just become a housewife and raise two kids. Like, she's either going to be the best person in the world, in which case we'll all go, thank God she didn't die that day on that coroner's table, or she's going on a killing spree.
Right. Stay tuned.
I'm going to keep my eye on this one.
Yeah, please
You bet I'll be checking back with her.
I'll keep dibs.
Yeah, because it's feast or famine in these situations. Right. That's what I've learned from watching movies over my 56 years. It's either
she's not going into claims adjusting.
No, it's going to be the highest of the highs or the lowest of the lows for Tanisha.
Tamisha.
Tamisha. All right, so we'll keep an eye on her. And I think they're still going to count this as a COVID death, I heard. All right. They're still counting. Oh, no, Tom Arnold in studio tomorrow.
All right.
Studio.
I love that guy, but he is gassed up, man. That guy comes in, he's going to be pumped up. I love talking to that guy.
And do him a favor in advance and turn down the AC, because he perspires sometimes. And he'll be more comfortable.
He's got a motor, but he's lovable. But could you imagine him and Roseanne together? Feels
Power
like
couple.
Thankfully, I can.
It feels like a full-time job, doesn't it?
Oh, my God. Explosive.
Imagine, they had an assistant back in the day, right?
Oh, boy.
Remind me to ask him how that was. All right. His assistant. Yeah, you make me a note when he comes in. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.